Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about Azure Virtual Networking. Before that, we have to understand what is networking. Networking is a service establish the connection between your inbound and outbound traffic. So it restricts inbound and outbound traffic over the cloud. So let's see Azure Virtual Network. So Azure Virtual Network is a representation of your own network in the cloud. So Azure VNet enables many type of resources such as Azure virtual machines like servers and web application databases. So how we are going to restrict the inbound and outbound traffic over the Azure virtual network. Here I have taken Azure virtual machine. In many cases, Azure you have to involve with virtual machine and a web application and databases. So every resources you can see this same virtual network concept. This virtual network contain subnet, network shared group, Ethernet cord, and VM private IPs. So my virtual machine is connected with Ethernet cord. So this Ethernet cord attached with my virtual network. So how to configure virtual network? So in this class, you have to know about virtual network and how to create the subnets and how to plan IP address, create a public IP and the private IPs, how to associate with your VMs. So we will learn about one by one. So here I have taken some snapshots. So it's a subnet of your virtual networks. So virtual network can be segmented into one or more subnets. So how to create a virtual network? So you have to select a subscription, then select the resource group, then provide your name for your instance. So virtual network 2, virtual network 1. This is a name for your virtual network instance. Then you have to select a region. So here name in the sense your virtual network name. So if you can create multiple virtual network and this virtual network can be attached with your Azure virtual resources, VMs like databases, anything else. So planning the IP address. So VNets, on-premise network, VPN gateways, express route. So private IP used within an Azure virtual network and your on-premises. If you want to connect your on-prem to Azure, so then you have to plan your private IP address. So if you want to host your application over the internet, then you need your public IP to access your web application. For example, I'm having a server in Azure. So if I want to connect over the internet, so in that case, you need public IP address. For example, if you have a database hosted in a cloud platform, cloud VM, so you should not worry about in public because this will be trans this will be inbound and outbound traffic will be connected in your private IPs. So it will be communicated only your private range. So it should not be connected over the internet. Then, for example, if you want to connect to your server over the RDP, then you need an internet connection. So in that case, you have to enable RDP. So whenever you enter public IP address, you have to enable the public IP address. If not required, you should not enable the public IP address. So in that scenario, you have to plan your IP address. How to create a public IP address? So Azure support IPv4 or IPv6 and both, and it has two type of SKU: basic and standard. Basic, when you selecting basic, so it has some less features. When you're going for standard, so standard support for when you're going for a redundant base environment, high availability, Azure zone redundant services, you must need standard SKU. The same thing if you're going for load balancer, there is a basic and standard. Standard provide more features. Again, you have to choose standard SKU. So you should know about what is the difference between basic and standard. The same thing when you select in the standard SKU default, you will get static IP address. In basic, you can choose dynamic or static both. So what is network security group? So network security group used to restrict your inbound and outbound traffic. Here you can see three default rules. This is 65,500 and 65,501. So these service default created by Azure. When you're going to create a network security group, this network security group will be created in default. You cannot modify or delete them. So what is the default rule? See here you can see Denny all inbound. This rule says you cannot access your service over the internet. For example, if you have a virtual machine, so the Denny all inbound, whatever incoming traffic coming, it Denny, the packets will be dropped. Then you can see allow Azure load balancer inbound. So default rule for load balance, it allows the same thing allow VNet inbound. So if you're going to create the same network, same virtual machine, same subnet, so you can able to connect your virtual machine inside the same VNet. So for example, having the same VNet, I'm creating multiple virtual machine. You can able to communicate with the same network. So in that case, you should not get a different rule. So when you're going to create use a different rule, if you're going to access your virtual machine over the public, you need a RDP port over the public. Then you to create a user defined rule. This rule can be created by yourself. You can modify based on your requirement. For example, if you want a custom port, for example, if you want to connect a web application, for example, if you want to connect your database application to the on-prem service, so you can create whatever service, whatever port. So this is RDP port 3389 and any to any. You can provide multiple protocols, TCP or UDP and the source and destination. So if you want to restrict particular port, so you can able to restrict them. So here you can see service port and priority. So here I choose custom. For example, your service is running like some custom port, so we can provide custom port. If you know already, if you want HTTP or TCP, HTTP, RDP, SQL, so you can service in that service column, service tag. Then port range. Port range you can provide a single port or multiple ports. So priority, the lower the number, the higher priority. So we already having the 60,500. This is default any, but I am allowing one port to allow outside. So I should provide the lower priority to access my machine over the internet. Okay, let's see a quick demo of it. My Azure portal, I'm going to get VNet. So here you can just go and select virtual network. You can search virtual network service, or else you can go and the left hand side tab you can see virtual network. It's default tab. So I'm going to get virtual network. Click create. You have to select the subscription. Then you have to select the resource group. I'm selecting VNet resource group. This is a logical representation of resource group. So here I'm going to provide my VNet name. So I'm just to put VNet A. So I'm creating virtual network inside my West US data center. Then next, uh, private IP address. So here, if you want to get customized private IP address, you can provide private IP address range. Address space here. then you can provide your subnet here. So I'm leaving default whatever having here for training purposes. Then click create. Validation pause. So I'm going to click create. So here we are going to create a virtual network, network secret group, public IP. Then finally we'll create a virtual machine. We will attach them these all with this virtual machine. My virtual network is ready, so I'm going to create NSG network secret group. So I'm going to create network secret group. So I'm selecting the same resource group here, NSG VNet A STS. Okay. Then I'm going to create public IP address. So I'm going to create a public IP address and just selecting a public IP address in search window. So here I'm going to get public IP address. Here you can see the name of public IP address. For example, I put PIP public IP mean concept A. Just it's for friendly name you can provide based on your project requirement name like that. So here you can choose IPv4, V6 or both and standard basic. So I'm leaving standard. You have to select resource group here. In a resource group. So when you can see here availability zone. So this availability zone will be appear when you choosing a standard SKU. If you choose basic, you will not get this option. So my now my VNet is ready, NSG ready, public IP is ready. Now I am going to create a virtual machine. I'm creating virtual machine. I'm selecting my subscription. Then the VNet resource group, then providing name, VM name, VM VNet. So I put my friendly name, VM admin, and I put password. I'm leaving a blank here. So we have to look our networking tab. Here you can see I am. It's taken default because in this virtual this resource group it taken default. Otherwise I can create. Okay, we already created a VNet virtual network, and here you can find the public IP, VM VNet public IP, which which is created now, which is created in this earlier session. Here I'm going to select the advanced. See here we created a VM VNet. So VNet A and subnet public AP, these resources we created earlier. So we mapping these resources on your virtual machine. Got it? So this is virtual network we created. Let's let me confirm with another time. Let me go to my resource group. VNet concept resource group. Okay, this resource group we created recently. So I created with an NSG and a public AP virtual network. These resources we are going to attach with our virtual machine. Okay. In earlier class, virtual machine, while creating virtual machine, this virtual network created by default. In this class, we created a virtual network NS network group public IP. Already, we just mapping them over our virtual machine. So let's discuss in depth after virtual machine created. Okay, my machine is ready now, so I'm going to access my machine. Here you can see my public IP address. I'm copying here. Uh, I'm having already uh, username and password. This is the tool I'm going to access my virtual machine. This is a remote tool. I think you already seen my previous video. This is used to connect your remote machines in a single click. I already copied my credentials over here. I am selected my networking. Here you can see default tool. Then on top of it you can see RDP. While I am getting virtual machine, I selected this RDP port. Now I'm clicking public IP. So this is static. I selected basic. So it's showing static IP address. Sorry. Okay, while I'm creating is selected as SKU basic, so it's, you have to go and check the configuration. Okay, this is a dynamic IP address. So if you want to upgrade the static, you can just click static and save it. After save, your machine will be rebooted. It will become a static IP address. This IP will not be remote in when you made a static. Then one more thing here you can see networking. So if I want any additional inbound mode, just I'm going to click add inbound. Here you can select your service. For example, I'm selecting HTTP or SMTP. Okay, I'm selecting the okay. If I'm selecting FTP, so default taken FTP port number. If I'm selecting the DNS or POP3 IMAP, so it will select a default port number. Even if you not remember or you, if you never the port number, don't worry. Default the service will be taken. So if you know port number, for example, if you want HTTP, you can select HTTP. If you want a customized port, you can choose customized port here. Add info. You can select a custom port here. For example, your application, your database running on 1433. That is SQL, but some other application running mean you just to provide your port number, then add it. I hope this session was very useful and understand what is virtual network and a virtual network security group and IP address. So in next I will provide advanced networking, so which is useful for troubleshooting and how to troubleshoot virtual networking issues and the virtual network peering between the multiple virtual network, between the multiple data sensor and virtual network gateways. We will see it on upcoming videos. Thank you. Thank you all.